The musical Knoxville is on stage this week at the Clarence Brown Theater. It is a musical adaptation of the book A Death in the Family, written by acclaimed writer James Agee. Agee was born and raised in Knoxville, and he won a posthumous Pulitzer Prize for that book. And while the musical reintroduces audiences to Agee's most famous work, for some, it's a chance to reflect on the brilliant but troubled genius and his ties forever linked to East Tennessee.
Novelist, journalist, poet, and screenwriter, all words to describe the talents of James Agee. But to the readers of his most famous piece of work, A Death in the Family, Agee's greatest title was son.
Born here, spent his first 10 years or so here, and then moved away and then came back, but always, I think, was close to Knoxville and thought of it as his home.
His father was from Campbell County and worked as a bookkeeper. He himself called it sort of a middle-class life that they had up here on Highland Avenue.
For historian Jack Neely and writer Paul F. Brown, Agee's life in Knoxville is a source of much fascination.
In a lot of ways, it was a normal childhood, enjoyed playing with friends who lived nearby on the 1500 block of Highland. Some good memories, some bad memories.
In 1916, James Rufus Agee's life in Knoxville was changed forever when his father, J. Agee, was killed in a car crash.
He was on his way back from visiting family in Campbell County and came over Beaver Creek, which is out there right where Clinton Highway today crosses Beaver Creek. And something happened and he lost control of his car.
The younger Agee was just 6 years old when his father died, and it affected him greatly.
He thought about it a lot if you go by his writings, because a lot of his early writings, he writes about death.
And that's a tough time to even grasp death. And the book that he wrote, which is really, called a novel, and it won a Pulitzer Prize for fiction, but it's really a memoir.
While A Death in the Family includes themes all of us can identify with, there also are tributes to Knoxville.
There are a lot of places in Knoxville that are mentioned by name, and especially Market Square, Gay Street.
Today, there is a street named for Agee in the Fort Sanders neighborhood, just a few short yards from where he was born, and it includes a park named after him.
You know, his house was torn down in the early 60s, and so people didn't really have a place where they could come, you know, when they were searching for something of his life here.
And in a cemetery in North Knoxville is the gravesite of Agee's father. A simple headstone marks his passing, leaving little idea of the lasting legacy he left through his son.
It's set in 1915, 1916, but there's really nothing in it that doesn't resonate today.
A Death in the Family was also adapted into the Pulitzer-winning play All the Way Home. James Agee was also the screenwriter who wrote the films The African Queen and Night of the Hunter. He died in 1955 at the age of 45, nearly 39 years to the day of his father's death. And Paul F. Brown's book Rufus is available everywhere, and the musical Knoxville runs through Sunday at the Clarence Brown Theater.